joining me this morning. Today we're going to be doing a nice strengthening flow. So we're focusing on the Lunar New Year yesterday, and it is officially the year of the ox this year. So we're going to be focusing our practice around all of those qualities that we associate with this zodiac year. So strength and movement at the same time, which is obviously something that we don't tend to put together in yoga. Morning guys, hi Alice, thanks for joining me. So we're going to be doing quite a strong practice, working at sort of building up those muscles, but also we're going to keep it moving and flow with the breath as well. So a really nice practice for you guys this morning. Hi Alison, thanks for joining me. So we're going to begin our practice this morning in a child's pose. So if you want to get yourself onto the mat, and remember, just do whatever feels right for you today. You don't have to do absolutely everything that I do. So I've got a couple of yoga blocks with me this morning as well, just so I can show you how you can use them if you are wondering sort of like how you use them to make your practice a little bit easier. Morning Karen. But you can use pillows and cushions and things. You don't necessarily have to have yoga blocks. So we're going to begin in a child's pose. So just bringing your big toes together, take your knees a bit wider apart if it's more comfortable for you, and then just let your upper body sink down to the floor. So if your head comfortably reaches the floor, that's where we want it to be. We want it to be resting down so you've got no tension in your neck and your shoulders. If it doesn't comfortably come down to the floor, this is one of the times when a block can come in handy, because you can use it just to provide a resting place for your head, but you can also make a little pillow with your fists or your hands as well. So just allow yourself to melt down into the pose now. So just have the arms gently out in front, but not reaching with those hands. We're just gently allowing the shoulders to soften and melt down. Feeling the hips softening as well, so that they should be feeling as if they're sinking down towards your heels. It doesn't matter if they're not reaching them. And just feeling your back lengthening and your chest melting down as well. And either close your eyes here or just soften your gaze. And let's begin to focus in on our breath. Giving ourselves permission now just to slow down and switch off from the outside world for a little bit of time to ourselves. Just observe the breath at first, don't try to change or alter it. Becoming aware of the sensations as you breathe in and breathe out. Noticing that drawing the focus to the breath naturally slows it down. So just allow yourself to let go now. Every time you breathe out, feel those muscles releasing and relaxing a little bit more, allowing you to melt down into the pose. And now begin to take a little bit more control of that breath. So breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale completely through your nose as well. Just feeling it slow right down. Making that breath as long and slow as you can. Think about drawing that breath into the back of your body. So as you inhale, feel your ribs and your lungs expanding out into the back of your body. You've got loads of space there in this pose. So really think about stretching into your back of your shoulders as you inhale deeply. And as you exhale, feel that chest sinking down. Feel those shoulders really spreading wide and relaxing away from your ears. Using the breath, moving gently with the breath, concentrating on different things with the inhale and the exhale. In yoga, we always imagine we're creating more space on the in-breath. So as we breathe in, we direct that breath to whichever part of our body is feeling the stretch the most. We imagine that breath circling around that body part and creating more space there, whether it's around a joint or whether it's lengthening a muscle. And then when we exhale, we visualize allowing ourselves to surrender more deeply into the pose, using that space that we've created on the inhale and just melting into it. So we're going to be using that in today's session. So just take 2 more breaths here, slowly and deeply, feeling those shoulders spreading wide, feeling those hips sinking low. And then we're going to begin to activate the pose a little bit more, so turn it into more of a stretch. So start to reach out your hands in front of you a bit further. Really spread those fingers wide. Have a big stretch in the web in between each finger. Feel that stretch right across your shoulders and in your armpits. Really lengthening through those arms. And then you also want to feel that stretch down your back. Your spine is lengthening all the way from the crown of your head down to your tailbone. A big, big stretch here. And then we're going to take it into a gentle side stretch. All we're going to do is walk both hands over towards the right hand side of the mat, placing the left hand on top of the right, and then sink your left hip further down towards your heel. So consciously push that hip down. When we reach over towards the right, there's a temptation to lift up in that hip, but we want to keep it planted down so we're getting a big stretch there all the way down the left side of the body. Breathe deeply, send the breath down that body. And then walk the hands back to the centre, and this time taking them over towards the left. Right hand rests on top of left, and bring your focus into your right hip, sinking it down to your right heel, and stretch. Good, release, bring those hands back to centre. And then we're going to slowly begin to walk the hands in towards us, rounding through the back as we curl ourselves up. And then we're going to come up onto all fours into our tabletop position. So take your time getting comfortable here. You want to have your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, feet nice and flat. So again, this is another pose where using the blocks can be helpful if you have any issues with your wrists, any pain or discomfort. You can just use those blocks as a little bit of extra support under the wrists, and it will just make it feel a bit easier on them. There's always the option as well, when we're in a tabletop position, to come down onto your elbows and forearms, and that takes that pressure off the wrists as well. So let's move through our cat and cow stretches this morning. So flowing with the breath, inhaling to tilt the tailbone up, drop the belly down, lift the gaze upwards. And then exhaling to tuck your tailbone under, arch up through that back and drop your head down. Good, and again, inhale to tilt, looking up. Exhale to tuck. Really starting to feel into your back now, so each time you move between these two poses, notice how it feels in your lower back, your middle back and your upper back. And just gently push into whichever part of the pose feels the nicest for you. So you might feel that you've that your upper back and your shoulders are a bit stiff, in which case on that exhale you're going to want to really push up into those shoulders. You might have some pain or discomfort in your lower back, and actually on the inhale, when you drop your belly down, maybe that feels nice, just getting that movement in the lower back. So moving any way that feels right for you. We're going to keep moving with the breath. Another 2 breaths here. One last inhale and exhale. And then bring it back to a neutral spine. And then walk your hands in towards your heels and sit back into a kneeling position. So we're going to do a few poses in this kneeling pose. So if this is not comfortable for you, again, another option for the block is to place the block on the floor in between your feet and to sit on the block. And that raises the hips up and it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. It takes some pressure off the knee joints as well as the hips. A pillow or cushion will do the same job for you. If that's really not comfortable, feel free to move into a cross-legged position or any position that works for you. So sit yourself up nice and tall. So you want to relax those shoulders down. Feel as if you're lifting up through the crown of your head. So your whole spine is lengthening up. Gently tuck your chin in to lengthen through the back of the neck. And just rest your hands on your knees. Let's come back to the breath once again. Remember, we're breathing in and out through the nose. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely, focusing on the exhale as you relax those shoulders down. We'll do that once more. Deep breath in and release, relax those shoulders. Lovely. We're just going to do some circles with the neck now, so keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. Make sure that your hands are resting on your legs. And we're going to take our head round in a nice big circle. If you've got any discomfort in your neck when you take your head back, we're just going to do a half circle across the front and then over to one side. But if it feels okay for you in your neck, we can do a full circle, but take it really slowly. Whenever we move the neck, we want to be very, very slow. We don't want to make any sudden movements. We just want to be really gentle with it. So really feeling into the neck, noticing how it feels. Being aware of those little pops and clicks as you release the tension. And then if you are doing those full circles, we want to change the direction so that our head goes the other way round. Okay, and then just bring that head back up to centre, sitting up tall once again. So we're going to inhale to take our arms up and over our head. Bring the palms together and exhale them down in front of you. Good, we'll keep doing this. Move with the breath. Deep breath in, arms up, exhaling through the nose as those hands slide down in front of us. One more inhale, taking those hands all the way up. This time, I want you to interlace your fingers and then flip your palms so that they're gently pressing up towards the ceiling. So you want to feel like your shoulders are relaxed, but your palms are reaching up. Okay, so it's a big stretch into the arms, that's all we're getting here. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, let's take it over into a side stretch going over to the right. So feel that big stretch all the way down the left side of the body there. And then inhale back up. Exhale over to the right. Take that stretch down the right side this time. Sorry, we're going to the left. And release. Let's do that once more to each side. So on the exhale, back over to the right. Inhale up and over to the left. those hands all the way down and roll those shoulders back. So let's just do some nice circles with the shoulders. Breathing deeply across the chest as you roll those shoulders back. Okay, we're going to take our hands, interlace them behind our back this time. And then when you're ready, push those hands away from you. Feel those shoulder blades pinching back. Really push those hands away as far as you can. Maybe see if you can lift them up slightly as well. Big, big stretch into the shoulders. An excellent counter stretch for if you spend a lot of time hunched over a computer or over your phone. It's correcting that posture of arching the back forward. We're really opening up here across the front of those shoulders. Breathe deeply as well. Really enjoy that space across the chest as you inhale and exhale. One more deep breath here. And release. Good. We're going to take the arms the opposite way now, so into a hug. Left arm on top of right. Wrap your hands around. Creep those fingers around the back of those shoulders. And then once you're comfortable, relax the elbows down and relax your chin down as well. So this time we're sending the breath into the back of the body. Remember, we're stretching those shoulders in the opposite way, so we're creating more space in the back body. Breathe deeply. Feel those ribs moving and opening up in the back of your body. Lovely. On your next inhale, take your arms wide once again. Have a big stretch out to the side. And give yourself another hug. This time right arm on top of left. Creep those fingers around once again. Relax the elbows down. Relax the chin down. Breathe deeply into the back of your body. And release. Let those arms hang down by your sides and give the shoulders a little bit of a wiggle, a little shake out. Okay, going to come forward again onto all fours. So bringing those hands down to the mat in front of you. Making sure that you've got a nice positioning with the knees under the hips and the wrists under the shoulders. Okay. This time we're going to start to strengthen our practice a little bit. So we're going to do a couple of little balances and we're going to just work at really strengthening those muscles. So the first thing we're going to do now is take our left leg out behind us. So reach it out, keep that toe pointed. I'm going to come forward a little bit so I've got some space. And then kick through your heel. So feel those muscles switching on in the leg. Bring your focus to your core muscles now. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. Switch on those muscles, make sure they're nice and strong. Then point your toe again, and we're going to bend that knee, toe pointing up towards the ceiling. So this is tiger pose here. So it's a really nice strong pose. And if we want, we can do some little pulses with that left leg. Just gently taking the knee up, and that's working into the glute muscles there as well. But if you'd rather just hold it still, you can. Good. Now we can take this into a little balance if you want to. So only if you feel like you want a bit of a challenge today. We're going to keep that left hand on the floor, so it's the opposite arm to the leg. And we're going to reach it behind us and see if we can take hold of that foot. This is really wobbly for me today. Definitely a challenge. But if you're able to hold on to that foot, well done. Bring your chest forward. And then carefully release. Bring it back down. And give those hips a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. And let's do that on the other side. So this time the right leg's going to come up behind. Start off by pointing the toe. Get that length through the body. And then kick back through the heel. Nice big stretch there down the hamstring. Engage the core. Draw the belly button up towards the spine. Now point those toes once again, and then bend the knee. Toes pointed up towards the ceiling, into our tiger pose with your tail lifted nice and high. Let's do a few of those little pulses, working into the glute. Remember to keep the focus on the breath. So anytime there's any exertion at all, breathing deeply in and out through the nose. Okay, if you want to have a go at that balance, feel free. So this time I'm going to take my left hand back, hold on to that right foot. And release. Slightly less wobbly for me on that side. Remember, we're always quite different on one side to the next with our balancing. Okay, so we're going to lift the, which leg did we just lift there? Right, so we're going to take the left leg back this time. So we're not going to bend the knee, we're just going to keep kicking back through the heel. And then we're going to take the right arm forward, so opposite arm and opposite leg. Reaching and lengthening. Switch on that core, okay? Imagine you're tightening a big belt around your middle. It's going to keep you supported, it's going to keep you stable. Reaching and lengthening. Ooh, well done. Now we're going to do a little crunch here if you want to. You can bring your elbow and your knee in together. And then stretch out once again. Lovely. Let's do that another time. Well done. And once more. And release the hand and the knee down. Well done. Let's take it to the other side now. So the right leg's coming out behind. Kicking back through that heel. Switching on the core muscles and then lifting up the left hand. If this is too wobbly for you, just stick with the leg. You don't have to do the arm and the leg. So really reaching and lengthening here. Nice and strong. Get that balance. And then if you want to introduce the little crunch, you can do. So drawing the knee and the elbow together and then stretching out once again. Drawing them in together and stretching them out. And one last time. Draw them in and out. And float the hands and the knee back down. Well done. Take those hips for a little wiggle from side to side. Okay, we're going to come into our down dog now and do a little bit of a flow. So first of all, bring your focus to your hands. Spread the fingers wide. You want to make sure that you're pressing down equally and evenly into those hands. So make sure all of your weight is not going into the heel of your hand. Make sure that you've got a bit of weight going into your fingers, into the base of the fingers as well. Okay, we're going to tuck our toes under, take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, lift your knees up and take your hips up nice and high into downward dog. So at first we're going to keep the knees a little bit soft. Just focus on lifting those hips really high. Let your head relax. Give that head a little shake to make sure there's no tension in the neck. Okay, so we're going to, just moving forward slightly so I don't kick the wall, because I'm going to take my left leg now and I'm going to float it up behind me into a three-legged dog, okay? So nice and strong here, kick through the heel, really strong through that leg. Well done. Now if you can, I want you to bend that knee. And then we're going to bring that foot down towards your bum. Okay, so we're kind of opening that hip out to the side. So just trying to tap your bum with your toe. Lovely. Bring that leg back up. And then we're going to swing it forward and step in between the hands. So big step forward. Take as many steps as you need to get there. And then once it's there, we lower the back knee down, and flatten the back foot. So we're into a nice low lunge position here. Okay, so we're going to sink those hips nice and low. This is another example of where your blocks might come in handy. By placing those blocks either side of the feet, it means that your hands can be a little bit higher up, which means you've got a little bit more space in your chest and you can lengthen through your back a little bit more. Great for people like me who've got quite short arms. Remember, we're all different anatomically, and some people have naturally quite long arms and they would find this a bit easier than me. So blocks are really great in that respect for just kind of giving you that bit of extra length in the arms. So you want to be able to lift your chest forward if you can, and sink those hips nice and low. So we're going to take a couple of breaths here. Lovely. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start to take the hips back, and then we're going to walk our hands back as well, straightening out that front leg. Okay, so that left leg is now straight in front of us and we're kneeling up on that right knee. Now if we want to make this into a hamstring stretch, we just need to lift the toes on that left foot and feel that big stretch there as it comes down the back of that leg. Again, you'd like ideally to be opening your chest out to the front. So blocks again, pretty handy for this pose. We can have them any way up and even have them like this if it makes it easier for you. So again, just giving yourself something to kind of rest those hands on. Feel that nice stretch. Remember, if it is too much for you, just relax the foot. We don't have to make it into quite so strong a hamstring stretch. So you're kind of pushing your hips back and lifting your toes up. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to walk those hands back forwards, coming back into the lunge once again. So start to bend that knee, lunging forward. Sink the hips low. Brilliant. So make sure you plant your hands down nice and firmly into the floor once again, either side of that foot. And then we're going to tuck our back toe under and start to lift that back knee. And when you're ready, I want you to take a big step back now with this left foot, so back into downward dog. Lovely. So push those hips up nice and high. Great. So we're going to move to the other side now. So lifting that right leg out behind you when you're ready. Lifting it up into three-legged dog. Kick through the heel. Try and point those toes down towards the floor if you can, and that will help to keep those hips nice and level. Now when you're ready, start to bend the knee and see if you can drop the foot down towards your bum. So feel that knee opening out to the side. You're stacking your hips, so the hips are turning a slightly different way here. Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Nice and strong. And then we're going to straighten that leg back up again. And then swing it forward, step between the hands. Into that lunge once again. Drop that back knee down, flatten the back foot. And then sink those hips nice and low. Once again, if you want to bring in some blocks if you have them, just to help keep that upper body a little bit more open. So focus here is very much on those hips. Feel them releasing and opening up. So we send the breath to the hips. Inhaling, creating space. Exhaling, melting the hips further down into that space. Keep lifting your chest forward if you can. Lovely. And now let's start to straighten that front leg. Walking those hands back. then we'll take a big stretch down this right leg. If you want to, draw those toes up. Again, feel free to use some blocks if it helps you to keep that openness in the chest. So pushing back through the hips and feel that big stretch down that leg. Oh, that is a big stretch. So we're going to take a few breaths here, giving those muscles a chance to release and let go. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's walk those hands back forward, placing them either side of that foot, sinking the hips low just for another breath. Plant the hands, spread the fingers wide, and let's tuck that back toe under. Lift the back knee, and when you're ready, step that right foot back to join the left. Back into our downward dog once again. So this time, just try and focus on straightening out those legs if you can. So think about sinking your heels down, having that hamstring stretch this time. Lovely. Now we're going to start walking the hands in towards the feet and the feet in towards the hands. So coming into a forward fold. Keep the knees a little bit soft here. Let your belly and your chest come down towards your thighs. And let those arms hang heavy. Now it might feel quite nice here to hold on to opposite elbows, coming into ragdoll pose, and this just allows gravity to draw that upper body a little bit further forward. Make sure the head is relaxed, no tension in the neck. And then we're going to release those arms down and then slowly curl ourselves up. So hands are coming up last of all. Imagine they're really heavy. Curling up through the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down until you come up to standing. Okay guys, little bit of a standing sequence now. Remember, we're doing a nice strong flow today. So we're going to do our Warrior 2 flow. Because it's a lovely, it's both strengthening and graceful as well, and I think that's what we want to achieve out of today's session. So I'm going to begin at the top of my mat, feet hip width apart, toes facing forward, and spread those toes out nice and wide. So you want to have a nice neutral pelvis, so just take a bit of focus now into the tilt of that pelvis. Make sure it's not tilting too far in either direction, but it's just nicely somewhere in the middle, nice and neutral. We want a gentle engagement in the core, so imagine you've got that big belt on all the way around your middle. We're just going to gently tighten it up, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Spread your shoulders wide and relax them back and down. Relax the arms down by your side as well. And then finally, lift up through the crown of your head. Standing nice and tall. We're in mountain pose here, so let's take a moment just to channel that strength from mountain pose. So feel those feet rooting down into the floor, but feel the crown of your head lifting upwards like a mountain. Nice and strong. Lovely. Okay. So we're going to inhale and float our arms up and over our head. And then exhale, fold forward. So slight bend in those knees. Protect your lower back as you come all the way down into that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Place your hands on your shins. Straighten those legs. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold forward again, more deeply this time. And then we're going to take a big step back with our left foot. Okay, and then when you're ready, bring the hands up onto the knee. So from here, we want to pivot our back foot so that it turns to face side on. Now let's take a moment to work on this stance. You want your stance to be nice and wide, okay? so that when you bend that front knee, it just comes over the ankle. So if that knee's coming too far forward, it means your stance is not wide enough. So you need to take those feet further apart so that that knee is over the ankle. The feet should be in line with each other, so as if you could draw a straight line in between the heel of one foot and the middle of your other foot. And then you want to press down into the outside edge of that back foot. Hips should be facing side on, so you've got two headlights on your hips there and they're shining straight on that side wall. Okay, so that's our legs, and they should feel quite strong in those legs already. You should feel those muscles switching on. So we're going to stand up nice and tall with the upper body and take the arms out at shoulder height. Sink those hips low into warrior two. Finally, turning your head to look forward over that front hand. Lovely, nice and strong warriors here. So let's begin to move now. Let's flow with our warrior sequence. So as you inhale, flip the palm of that front hand and float that front arm up, bringing the back hand down to rest on the leg. Into reverse warrior. Big stretch down the right side. Inhale back up. Exhale, bringing that right arm down to rest on the leg and floating the left hand up and over. Big stretch all the way down the left side. And again, inhale to come up. Exhale into reverse warrior. Inhale up. Exhale into side angle pose, resting the elbow on the knee, reaching and lengthening with that back hand. And again, we're going to do that once more on each side. Inhale up, exhale to stretch. Inhale back up, exhale over the other way. Inhale back up, sink those hips nice and low. Lovely, bring the arms down. We're going to straighten out that bent leg now and pivot that foot so that it faces in the same direction as the other one. So our whole body's facing side on now. You might want to turn the toes out a little bit, about 45 degrees. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale to lengthen up through the spine. And exhale, let's hinge forward, folding forward now nice and deeply into a wide-legged forward fold. And when you feel that your chest has come down level, release the arms, let them fall down. So they might touch the floor or they might just be hanging, and that's fine. If you feel more comfortable resting them on the legs, you can do. But we're just going to enjoy this big stretch here now into the hips and into the back of those legs. Give that head a shake. Relax the neck and the shoulders. Lovely. On your next inhale, curl yourself back up again. So slowly restack that spine, rolling the shoulders back and down last of all. Okay, this time we're going to take our focus into our left leg and we're going to turn those toes to face side on. So this foot's going to be kind of facing towards the back of the room now. We want to make sure that the other foot is facing side on once again, okay? And then make sure that those feet are in line with each other. So if they might have shifted a little bit, we want to make sure that we can draw that straight line. We're going to bend that left knee, make sure it's coming over the ankle, and then press down into the outside edge of that back foot. Remember, headlights on the hips are shining on the side wall. Legs are switched on. So you want to feel all these muscles in your inner thighs really squeezing. Imagine you're squeezing a big beach ball in between your thighs. That's how switched on those muscles need to be. And then when you're ready, float those arms up at shoulder height and turn to look forward over the left hand this time. Sink those hips low. Strong warrior two. Lovely. Okay, let's begin to flow. Flip the palm of that front hand. Inhale it up. Bring that back hand down to the leg. Reaching over into reverse warrior. And again on the inhale, come back up. Exhale to bring that left arm onto the knee, right arm comes up and over. Big stretch the other way. And again, inhale up, flowing with the breath, coming up on the inhale and over on the exhale. Good, keep going. Stay strong in those legs. Don't allow that front knee to creep up. Want to keep those hips nice and low. Last time. Going into our reverse warrior. Back up and forward into our side angle pose. And up. Lovely, relax the arms down. Straighten the front leg. Turn the foot to face forward, and this time we're going to either jump or shuffle the feet in together. And have a big shake off now. So particularly those legs, make sure you give them a nice release, shake them out. Well done. Okay, let's do a little bit of a balance. We're going to do our warrior 3 balance this time. So I'm going to come to about a third of the way down the mat, so I want to have some space in front of me, but a bit more space behind me. Feet are going to be hip width apart once again, toes facing forward. Back into the mountain pose, so relax those shoulders down, hands by the side with the palms facing forward, lifting up through the crown of the head. Okay, we're going to bring our focus now into our right leg. We want to start rooting down into that right foot. So allow that foot to start taking a bit more of our weight. And then we should be able to lift the left foot off the floor. Okay, let's bring our palms together in front of us. And as you inhale, let's bring that left knee up in front. So trying to stay nice and focused here. Find a spot that you can focus all of your attention on, something that's nice and still. And just see how it feels. Remember, balance changes every day. So just notice how it feels. If this feels really wobbly, this might be enough for you and you might want to just stick with this for today. But if it feels okay, we're going to begin to tilt our upper body forward and we're going to take that leg out behind us. So keep those hands in nice and close to the chest. And kick that leg out behind, nice and strong. Lovely. So you want to ideally be making a nice straight line with the body. But it doesn't really matter where you are. As long as you're feeling all of those muscles working, trying to stop you from falling over. Lovely. Let's come back. Ooh. And release. Well done. Let's have a go on the other side then. So just take a moment to recenter ourselves. Bring those feet back in line with each other. Focus goes into the left foot this time as we begin to put all of our weight into it. Gently taking the weight out of the right foot. And then bring those palms together in front of your chest. Let's start to lift the right knee this time. How does it feel on this side? Is it any different? I'm feeling a little bit more stable on this side, but I don't want to speak too soon. Again, if this is enough for you, just holding it here is a really lovely balance. But if you want to take it that step further, let's begin to fold forward with the upper body and kick that right leg out behind. Taking it nice and straight and strong, focusing in on that spot on the floor or the wall, something still. Allow your mind to be still and it will encourage your body to be still as well. Good. When you're ready, see if you can come back the same way that you went into it. And release that foot down. Well done. Have another shake out. Ooh, right, I think it's about time for us to come down onto the mat now. So bring yourself down nice and carefully. and lower yourself down to lie on your back. Ooh, right, okay. We're going to take a full body stretch to start off, so straighten out those legs. And float your arms up and over your head, reaching out behind you. So really reach through the fingertips, and then start to kick through your heels as well. So big stretch all the way down the back of your body. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose. Sending that breath into the spaces in the body that feel the most tense. Lovely. One more deep breath in here. Really reach and lengthen. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down. And as you do so, bring those knees in as well. So just gently bring the hands onto the knees. And hug them in towards you nice and tightly. You might want to rock from side to side as well. Well done. Bring those feet down to the floor, so knees are bent this time. And we want to have the feet hip width apart. But slide them in nice and close towards your hips. So we're going to work on our bridge pose now. Again, it is a nice strengthening pose. We tend to do it at the end of the class as more of a rolling bridge. So just getting that mobility into the spine, but we're going to do a bit of strength work with it today as well. So another way that you can use your yoga block, if you've got one, which really helps to build up those leg muscles, those glutes and the pelvic floor as well, is to just place your yoga block in between your thighs, just in between the knees there. And then we're not going to squeeze it really hard, but I want you to just make sure you don't drop it. And you can keep it there for the whole of the sequence with the bridge pose if you want to. And again, it just makes it a little bit stronger. And also some people find when they are lifting up with the hips that the knees are sort of going in and out. It helps you to keep a nice alignment there and keep those legs straight. But as I said, I'm going to show you without it, so obviously you don't need to have the block to do this. Okay, so slide those feet in nice and close towards the hips. And then rest the hands down beside you on the mat. We want the palms facing down. And you want to have those arms nice and close in by the side of your body. Lovely. So as you inhale, I want you to begin to peel your back up away from the floor. So we're going to take those hips, push down into the heels, and begin to lift those hips up. So we want to come into kind of like a ski slope shape. So you're not taking those hips too high. And then as you exhale, we're going to lower back down. So reattach that back to the mat, one vertebra at a time. Lovely. And again, let's inhale to take those hips up. So we push into the heels. We feel the leg muscles and the glute muscles beginning to switch on. And then on the exhale, we lower. So we're going to do that once more, but this time we're going to keep those hips high. So as you inhale, roll them up and hold them here. So feel those muscles switching on. You want to make sure that your knees are facing forward. And if you can, I want you to sort of shuffle your arms a little bit closer in towards you. So almost like you're rolling your shoulders underneath yourself. And that will just encourage those hips to lift a bit higher, giving you that little bit more strength there. Keep pushing down into those heels. Keep lifting up. And keep breathing. Nice and strong here into those legs. Well done. Let's lower back down now. So on the exhale, slowly release that back down to the floor. And then bring the knees in towards the chest and give them a nice squeeze. Well done. We're going to do that one more time now. So bringing those feet back down to the floor. Shuffle them in nice and close. Hands come down to the mat. And when you're ready, inhale to peel the back off the mat. Lift those hips up. Shuffle the shoulders in nice and close. Keep pushing those hips up nice and high. Really switching on those glute muscles. Those thigh muscles are working as well. Keeping that control in the legs. Make sure that the knees are facing in the same direction as the toes. Breathing here. One more breath. And release. Lower that back down. Well done. Bring the knees into your chest. Give them a nice squeeze. And gently rock from side to side. Oh, well done. Okay, let those feet come back down to the floor once again. And then we're going to straighten out one leg. So let's straighten out the right leg. Keep a little bend in this left leg. We're going to come into a twist now. So I'll show you two variations of the twist. One is a stronger twist, which will work it all the way into your back. The other one is a more gentle twist. So for the stronger twist, we're going to bring the foot a little bit closer in towards us, so this left knee is nice and bent. And then we're going to take the right hand and just bring it onto that leg. Left hand comes out to the side of you, with the palm facing down. And then you can take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, we draw this left knee across the body, rolling into that twist. If you want a gentler version of the twist, all you need to do is slide the foot a little bit further down the leg. So there's only a slight bend in the knee. And then we're going to have both hands out to the side, and we're just gently going to roll the lower body. Okay, so we're not pulling that knee across. We're just letting it gently fall. And what you should get here is more of a twist across the outside of the hip and into the lower back. So whichever variation of the twist you're doing, bring your focus into this left shoulder now. I want you to make sure that that shoulder has not lifted up from the floor. If it has, roll yourself back slightly so that it comes back down onto the mat. We want to make sure that we keep that connection. So let's just allow ourselves to melt into this twist now. So try to relax as much as possible. Bringing the focus back to the breath once again. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, slowly and deeply. Holding it for one more breath. And then we're going to carefully release, so roll ourselves back to centre. Straightening out that left leg. And then sliding the right foot in towards us, so bringing it either nice and close in, or a little bit further out, depending on which variation of the twist you did on the other side. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, roll yourself over into that twist. Once again, so shuffle those hips. Readjust the leg and the foot in order to allow yourself to be comfortable. Making sure that the right shoulder is still connected down to the floor. Breathing slowly and deeply. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your gaze as we start to slow things right down now, preparing to move into our relaxation. Lovely. One more conscious breath in and out through the nose here, as slowly as you can. And then carefully roll yourself back to the centre. Straighten out both legs now. Float your arms up and over your head. Big full body stretch. Kick through the heels, reach through the fingers. And then as you exhale, float the arms back down by your sides. And bring them to rest down on the floor beside you. Turn the palms to face up. Let the feet gently fall out to either side. Allow yourself to find stillness here. Wiggle the hips a little bit to make sure that your lower back is nice and comfortable. And spread your shoulders nice and wide beneath you. Gently tuck your chin towards your chest to lengthen through the back of your neck. And if you haven't already done so, feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bringing that focus into the breath once again, allowing it to slow down the mind. And then let your body breathe all by itself now. So we won't try to change the breath, we're just going to let yourself breathe naturally. Feeling that breath naturally slowing down as our body begins to relax as well. Relaxing into your feet and your ankles. Relaxing your calves and your shins. Relax your knees and your thighs. Relax your glutes, relax your hips. Allow your lower back to melt down into the floor, followed by your middle back and your upper back. Relax your belly and your chest. Feel your shoulders spreading wide, relaxing down away from your ears. And then relax your arms, upper arms, elbows, forearms. Relax your wrists and your hands. Allow your head to feel heavy, relaxing into your neck. And relax your throat and your jaw. And all the muscles in your face. Letting everything completely surrender into this pose of Shavasana, our relaxation pose. And begin to deepen the breath once again. So take a couple of really big deep breaths in, feeling the breath travelling through your body, beginning to wake it up. Allow it to bring that awareness back into the body. The sensations are coming back as you wriggle your fingers and toes. Starting to make any little movements that feel right for you. Maybe any little stretches or any twists that your body feels like it needs right now. And then when you're ready, slowly roll yourself onto one side, take your time. And then carefully push yourself up. Coming into a seated position once again, any comfortable seated position for you. Relax those shoulders down, lift up through the crown of your head, sitting nice and tall. And we'll finish with a final deep breath in and out. Inhale to float the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms together and float them down in front of you. Pausing for a moment to tuck your chin to your chest and bow down to honour your practice and that of everyone who's joined us this morning. Namaste everyone, thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a nice weekend. It sounds pretty windy and scary outside where I am, so I don't know if I'll be going out that much today. But whatever you get up to, hope you have a nice weekend. And just a reminder that our float away class is moving on to Friday night, so I won't see you now until Friday evening. So I hope you have a good week and join me again then as we will float away into the next weekend. So take care and I'll see you soon.